Lighthouse Road, Brent, are you here? Not for the day, Bruce.
I'm happy to move this, but with possible amendment.
Through you, Mr. Chair, just we can take the report as read. We've got the recommended option there is to do a combination of three things. We base the recommendations on around the monitoring, the road work required and the land work required. Our recommendation is to, as stated there, continue with the monitoring, actually undertake full reconstruction of that affected section of the road, which is only about 100 metres, but we feel that just resealing it is not going to be sufficient, and then carry on with some drainage work as well. Also, just to let you know, we have Sean here and Jesse who have been working hard on this since the weather event and have come up with what we think is a acceptable solution. Funding for this was foreshadowed in the finance report that you've previously heard earlier today.
Okay, I've got questions from Tyrone and an amendment. So,
Potentially.
yeah, that's fine. Yep. So you go for it, man.
Oh yeah, thank you. And thanks for the work that's been done there. That's really good. So full reconstruction. So I mean, obviously that's a slip. It's not the first time that bit of land slipped. So with a full reconstruction, I mean, nothing's certain in this universe, but how much would that go towards preventing any further slips in the future?
So
that's designed to do that, obviously.
Through the chair, the reconstruction also includes some work on dealing with I guess the overland flow of any other rain and making sure that goes to, where is it, down into Aylmer Street or something like that. So part of the assessment is to not just patch the road and let the rain do what it did for the last 15, 20 years, is to actually collect it properly. Put some, what is it, is it geotech?
Geogrid. Build a little bit more resilience into the road. Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
And that was never done last time. No extra resilience was put in place.
And sorry, what's the kind of the approximate time frame?
We're targeting the back end of the upcoming summer season.
Okay.
So to avoid the peak summer season.
That's perfect. Thank you. And so what level of engagement with affected property owners will there be?
So we're in contact with the two main property owners who've been affected. The landowner who's the land the slips occurred on, and the landowner who owns the land immediately below the road. So in constant contact with them.
But people that transit that, like where it's a lifeline, is there like a, I mean, I don't want to have to be overly prescriptive here, but like, I guess sometimes the communication only occurs when there's something to communicate, which is fine, but sometimes people are, often calling me saying, well, what's going on? Only for me to say, well, it's status. So I guess my question is, what can we do to ensure that there's just regular kind of update and everyone feels like they can contact the person? Because there's a sort of like a well-being thing there, people who are a bit nervous about it and that sort of stuff. So just to make sure that there's that communication channels are open, what can we do there?
Well, there's been some, apart from some of the initial hiccups, there's been good communication, especially with those businesses and farms further down the road. There's about half a dozen of them.
And everyone living beyond as well.
Yeah.
We've got a direct line channel with all those, and they've got a direct line.
Okay, that's fine.
With us. Yeah.
That's fine.
You happy? So no amendments or anything? Cool. Yanni, and then we'll keep moving.
Yeah, I was just curious to know how many people are impacted by this, and at what stage do you look at your land use planning around allowing development to occur in these areas, given the history of slips?
It's probably not something for this team, but they are houses were below.
There were 4 properties immediately evacuated after the event, and then there were about 60 odd properties beyond that that were given warnings, and then there's about half a dozen properties living beyond the sort of who were cut off completely.
And are we
just bearing in mind, councillor, that the land use planning for this is quite some time ago. This is back in Banks Peninsula days. Those are all existing properties
Right,
If
and
there's
so
gonna be
are we, is it possible for more development to occur above where the slips happened?
I'll have to
Do we know?
defer that question to John.
We'd need to look into that.
Right.
But there are additional restrictions on these areas now in terms of slope stability, etc.
Part of the problem was there was no extra resilience built in last time, so this is actually going in and doing it properly.
Yeah, I guess what I'm concerned about is that we would enable the capacity for more development to occur. Infrastructure that's not as resilient as is needed, and I'm just wondering who looks at that big picture kind of question to ensure that either we restrict development because the infrastructure is not resilient, or we make the infrastructure more resilient so that it can handle the development.
So that would be if it's really resource consent.
And I would just add that we don't have any detailed landslide risk mapping in that area like we do in the Port Hills. So in some cases, we've got these potentially unstable slopes that we didn't know about beforehand. In this case, there's some history, but other areas there may not be.
Right.
Just to add to that, there's a new provision that's just been inserted into the RMA, which is that we have to, as a general consideration, consider natural hazards. So for every resource consent now, we have to consider whether there's a natural hazard that will have a material impact.
Okay. And do we know, is there a regional hazards?
Okay, can we keep, so last question.
Yeah, just around the hazard.
Yeah,
Because I think it's
clear.
ECAM, we're doing a regional hazard plan. Do we know where that's got to?
Yeah, okay, cool, so, no. All right, so that's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favour? Against? That's carried. Great, thank you.